guys have already gotten this far. You've already put your fat in the bowl. Then a little quick mention, I've seen a lot of pie tins going in the trash. One little thing you might want to consider doing, these pie tins are really reusable. We can go ahead and wash them until they start getting holes in them and breaking apart. Once they get holes in them, we throw them away. But we can use these 5 or 6 times or more before we finally throw them away. Sugar goes in, coarse salt, and our flavorings. That's what the recipe calls for. You can put the flavorings in any time, really, but it's best when it's in the beginning because it'll just get creamed right in, be well distributed, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be all over the place. You can really be able to taste that lemon, you can taste that vanilla. Yes?
You put the lemon extract in too?
Yeah, lemon and vanilla are, actually there's a lemon. I thought lemon and vanilla were combined. You can just combine them, because they're all going in the same place, at the same stage. So that is all the things for the basic cream mixture. Right now, they're not incorporated, so I'm going to make sure I'm on speed 1. This mixture has 3 speeds. Of course, your mixer doesn't. Your mixer is 10. Go ahead and put it on about speed 4 or so when you go to mix it. That'll give you a good cream when you are actually trying to incorporate air. But initially, slow speed is good. Let's get those ingredients somewhat incorporated together before we try to cream them. After all, right now I'm looking in there and there's a pile of sugar on the bottom and chunks of whole butter connected to my paddle. So to make sure that they're going to be mixed together well, all we have to do is just scrape down a little bit and make sure this stuff is going to be homogeneous. This is going to be all connected together and well mixed. This is a step that people at home usually don't do. That's the reason their cookies come out funny every time. My grandmother made great cookies, okay? And I mean great cookies. I'm sure yours did too. But as a child, as a little child, you probably didn't notice how different each batch was. You know, you probably didn't notice that Grandma's cookies came out a little different every single time. And did you care? No. You were 8 years old and you wanted cookies. And did you care? Not in the least. So it's a little different though when you're doing it for professional purposes and you want your cookies to look identical. Think of yourself as a customer down at Subway buying one of their cookies. Do you expect those cookies to look the same? Mm-hmm. Taste the same? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they better be, because they're selling to people, right? So suddenly we have a whole new set of rules. So what they do though is they buy frozen cookie dough, and that is all controlled in the factory. The mixing is all controlled. The frozen dough is all controlled, the portion size and everything, so that they make sure it's going to come out perfect. And all the girls have to do down here is basically put them in an even temperature oven, space them correctly on the sheet pan, and they bake perfect every time. But that's because somebody already did all the hard work. Okay, up to medium speed. Let's go to cream. Now right now it's kind of yellow. And we're going to notice a change. It's going to start to sound different. You're going to notice that you're going to have this sort of, I guess like a putta sound in the bowl. That's the sound of air getting incorporated. You're also going to start to notice that it gets lighter in color. And those little signals are telling you that you're getting there. And you're getting to the right stage.
What speed would that be for us?
This is about speed 4 or so. About speed 4 or 5 on the kitchen area.
So we're starting out at 4.
We'll start off slow, just kind of get it mixed together. Yeah, make sure there's no lumps at that point, and then go for the cream. And now it's going putta. And it's starting to give you that sound you're looking for. And I look down, of course, it's starting to get lighter in color as well, and getting a lot more fluffy. All it is basically is air just getting trapped by the powder. Make sure I'm not going to over cream it. I'm going to stop there and kind of take a look at it. And you'll notice how it's much lighter in color. It's very even. If you guys can see that, but it's very even. It's extremely fluffy. That's what we're looking for. And you notice I didn't go very long. It didn't take very long. I've seen my mother do this, and and get distracted by the telephone call, or Oprah comes on the television. God forbid, Oprah comes on the television, and it just, her cookies get creamed to death. And I see this, like she'll try making great Christmas cookies, and then she doesn't understand why they don't come out. So now, every time I come over, I've got to be the one who helps her out, because she doesn't want to learn it. She just wants me to do it, you know. And I think you'll find the same thing when you go home for Christmas or something. Oh, look, the master baker is here. You know, and the next thing you know, you're doing all the Christmas cookies. All right, so we're creamed. I'm going to go ahead and borrow a container I used before for the sugar. I'm just going to combine my eggs and milk together. And I'm going to do that because this fat's got to absorb the liquid anyway. And I'm going to try to go ahead and get them incorporated together in stages. Now, with all this air, it should absorb all this liquid. But it is fat, so it's not going to want to. I'm going to keep it medium speed, and I'm just going to go a little at a time. Initially, you'll see it try to curdle. It'll try to bunch up. You'll see chunks starting to form, and then it'll start to incorporate. And you can pour a little more in. Watch your eyes. So we'll come back at you. Now, just a little side note, I did scrape down here before I jumped in again. You know, I checked it, scraped down, go right back into something else. I'm going to scrape down after I add this liquid as well, just to make sure that all the fat and liquid have been fully incorporated. Accepted all that liquid. You'll notice no curdling. You know, it's nice and fluffy, as it should be. And if it was curdling, you would see liquid, you know, and it would be, and chunks of fat would be floating around. So we're going for something that is homogeneous, that stays together. We get a good emulsion. I'm going to go ahead and scrape down again. When I scrape down, I really go to the bottom of the bowl just to make sure there's nothing hiding down there. I'm also going to go in my paddle, make sure there's no chunks of butter hanging out here. That's the last thing I need, is to have a chunk of butter all by itself to find its way into one cookie and have one of those cookies end up being, you know, just a big oily mess. So you can see all I'm doing, I'm following exactly what I was describing earlier.